working harder on something which is already not working is not going to work. You need to think differently. And so today's thinking different is videos. You don't need to become a superstar. I think you need at best 2-3,000 followers. Do it whatever. If you create it at night, who cares? If you create it once in a week, who cares? As long as it's consistent. So psych yourself up because the results at the end are just amazing.
Hello, Avi.
Hello again.
So good to see you.
Yes, good to see you. Thank you for having me again.
Yeah, thank you so much. And one of the questions that a lot of people want me to ask you is this $100,000 business startup. You have mentioned in many of your conversations and interviews and in the information sessions you hold that one can aspire and have $100,000 business. What's the roadmap for something like that?
So, they say, and why I say 100,000 is, I could say million, billion, whatever. I haven't helped anybody go to a billion, but multiple millions people have made under the kind of coaching and mentorship that we provide. So, but I say 100,000 because of one particular reason, which is that, they say that if a rocket has to go to the moon, 50% of the fuel is spent in getting the rocket off the ground, and then the rest of the 50% it orbits the moon and comes back. Which means that getting the inertia, that's the getting started is the hardest part. Who am I? What product should I do? Who is my ideal customer? How much should I charge? How should I sell? Between these 5 questions, your normal brain will give you 500 permutation combination, and you will be most entrepreneurs will find themselves talking about the same business plan at a dinner party, and the other person will say, you told me this 3 years ago.
So true.
Because I'm going to do it, then why have you not done it? Because the mind and its permutations and combinations. So, taking a cue from all these dinner table conversations I've had with so many people who I know are great, can be great entrepreneurs, but their mind is stopping them. So that's why we decided that we're going to help people go to their first 100,000. And after that, once you've tasted success, once you start getting results in the gym, then nobody tells you how to go to the gym. Once you start getting money, then nobody tells you. You figure it out. So, but for that, there are a few steps which I tell people who want to do it on their own. Number 1 is to sit down and these are very easy steps, not difficult. This is not philosophy, this is not spirituality, this is not personal development, self-love. These are very simple. Don't overthink what I'm going to tell you. Number 1, sit down with your best friend or somebody who knows you, can call a spade and say, tell me the 5 things that I'm good at and the 5 things that you think I should not, sort of pursue. This is not. Like for example, if I was to sit down with some of my, people in my office who've been working with me for 10-15 years, they would say that don't get into operations because you're not a nitty-gritty guy, right? You are, you're more sales, you're more brand, you're more marketing, you're more this, but don't get into like sitting down and seeing which format goes here. And I'm so glad that I learned that early on. So what are you good at and what are you not? Just sit with that. End of the meeting, 1 hour. Don't overthink it. Just keep that with you. It will digest. Information has a way of finding itself, going through the brain and going into the soul and making a connect. Maybe it doesn't happen right then. Maybe because it's like a chemical going into your body, or like you put, in the chemistry lab, you used to put one chemical. You don't even know how these chemicals. Just leave it. It will digest and come back to you and understand who you are. You just need to do that exercise, number 1. Number 2, what is your story? In an earlier video, we spoke about how to create your hero introduction. Who am I? Where am I coming from? All of that. Because your backstory has so much to do with where you're going to go. It's almost like an elastic. You have to put it, and then it goes. So you have to, and so don't be ashamed of your past. In fact, celebrate it, acknowledge it, because you have to talk about it every single day in every single video. My name is Avi Arya, father of 2 girls, 6 dogs. So you have to own your story. So second one is to understand your hero introduction and know your story. Third is to be able to understand who is my customer avatar. A lot of people, Sobhana, come and say, I'm a weight loss coach. No, don't be a weight loss coach because nobody wants a weight loss coach. What do people want? I help people who are getting married in 3 months and need to get into a tuxedo. So like, immediate results coach. Okay, I help people with diabetes lose 5 kilos. I help big and tall people like Avi, who have a problem with their knee to be able to get back into the gym and start running faster. So work for a specific niche and not for everybody, especially when you're starting off. Next point is, how do you sort of market yourself? You need to, it's very simple. I say start with 3 videos a day, 15 a week, 60 a month. Oh my god, 60 videos, but every video is 1 minute. Ideation and everything may be 5 minutes. 3 videos is 15 minutes. Now, when I said this, I always think of my grandfather, who had a business where he had a biscuit factory, and he used to get orders from people out all over the country and all over the world. So he had 3 typists in our home, in the home office, and every day those typists would write letters to the database. 14 days for the letter to go. Then after 14 days, letters would come back saying, we don't like your quotation. Then again a letter would go and again it would come back, and he had a successful biscuit factory with marketing and all of that. Now, if my grandfather was alive and he would look at all of us who would say, oh my god, 3 videos a day is a lot of work. Really? You have to sit at home and put a camera in front of you and talk about your own personal story to be able to connect with the audiences. And that 20 minutes is difficult. You'd rather leave your house and be a traveling salesman, be away from your family and sell. But unfortunate truth is that people are still wanting to work harder on things that are not working. I was reading the other day that, and I'm paraphrasing, I wish I remember the exact way it was said. The gentleman said, human beings, when faced with a dilemma, entrepreneurial dilemma, will, instead of sitting down to think of what is not working, would rather work harder on exactly what has not been working. To think and change is so difficult. So that means, you know what, it's not working, my business is not working, I tried to sell this product, it's been 6 months. From tomorrow I'm going to get up early and start selling this, trying to sell the same product which is not working to 20 more people. Working harder on something which is already not working is not going to work. You need to think differently. And so thinking today, thinking different is videos. All of us are following people who we have seen have become superstars in front of us on the internet. You don't need to become a superstar. I think you need at best 2,000-3,000 followers, and which is the easiest to get. Out of them, 200 people should know you very well. Out of which 20 people buy every month or 200 people buy every year. Every year, only 2,000 people, which is only 200 followers a month. It is not a lot of work. 3 videos a day, 15 a week, 60 a month. So, and then finally, to be able to do webinars, because if you feel your product or service has a better market and you can charge 3, 4, 5x for it in another country where it's more valued or people, then by all means start learning how to do Facebook ads, Google ads. People will see those ads and click. There will be either a free 15-minute video from you, after which they can book a call with you, which is all automated. Or people land to a video, and from that video you invite them to a webinar where you teach people on in a group setting. After that, invite Q&A, and close sales at scale. This whole framework at best takes 4 months to learn and 1 year to execute to create a $100,000 brand.
Well, thank you for sort of unpacking, the framework that you've got there. One of the questions I have, Avi, is that, so once, let's say, somebody has done the 4 months and the 1 year, now you've got to get going, right, on whatever service or product that you're now, working on. For that to continue, say, for example, the way you've done, you need quite a bit of a discipline in life.
Right.
Because it is not difficult to do per se, but it is difficult to stay committed to it in the long run.
Sure.
Right? So like the way you generate content takes a lot of discipline.
Right.
Could you just kind of help folks who are listening understand how do you psych yourself up? What's your mindset to keep at it in such a committed and dedicated way?
Very important question. Thank you for asking that, because I think the answer for this will help a lot of people. So I understand, I'm 46 years old, but I hope every 16, 26, 36-year-old person, you don't need to be 46 to understand this. I wish I'd understood it earlier, that you don't need to fight yourself. You need to support yourself. It's part of self-love. So my fighting myself would be saying, every morning I'll get up before everybody else and I'll create content 2 days. I'll be doing a disservice. It'll be setting myself up for failure. I'm not that disciplined. But if you tell me to batch it and do 6-7 hours of content one day, I will go on for 10 hours. So what I do is every Monday, I start at 9:30 and I finish at I don't recommend everybody do this initially, but I finish at 4:35. We do at least 7 YouTube videos. We do at least 25-30 reels. I change my jacket frequently or a shirt frequently or wear a cap or whatever. 15, 20, 50, 30, 40 reels I'll do, some Instagram stories I'll do. And then that voiced from the interviews are put into my podcast. And so I've done my podcast as well. So 6-7 hours, I'm sorted for the next 2 to 3 weeks. So I don't necessarily need to create content every single day. So if you're disciplined, do 1 hour a day. And if you're not disciplined, then do a batching system. Now when it comes to psyching yourself out, I get psyched when I look at people who I knew just 6 months ago, immediately racing to 1 million followers or whatever, and now all of a sudden they have a voice. And I think every human being needs to be heard. We have such deep, feelings, that we have such a deep desire to be heard, to say something, and I have that. So when I see other people doing it, I say the difference between them and me is only one, because it's such a, this new world is so equal for everyone. It's so fair that all you need to be is consistent. You don't even need to be good. You just need to be consistent. Somebody will find you good. You don't need to be good. Once you start becoming big, people will tell you where you're going wrong, and then you can improve. But initially you don't know, so just create content every day. So my psyching happens from there when I see other people doing well. I'm like, my God, 6 months, I did only for 3. No, not anymore. So every second, third day I find somebody who will psych me up. And because I understood myself, I don't create content every day. I don't believe in challenging yourself where you know you can't do it. Like there's no way that somebody can tell me that Avi, you should get up at 5 in the morning, and I do it every day. My sweet spot is 5:30, 5:45, 6, but I'm not going for a run. I get up, and that's good enough for me. Once a week, only Wednesdays, when I get up and I go out of the house. And that's enough discipline for me for my morning routine. So, know yourself, do it whatever. If you create it at night, who cares? If you create it once in a week, who cares? As long as it's consistent. So, psych yourself up, because the results at the end are just amazing. Just by creating videos, people are creating millions of dollars, a lot of family time. And who doesn't like to be invited to events to speak at? You feel good, you feel important, and everybody likes that.
That is true. No, that's a lot of really great information, for people who are, trying to get into this space, who have had hesitation.
Yeah.
But like you said, it's an equal playing field now, right? And you can do this from pretty much anywhere in the world. A lot of times you just need a laptop or even a mobile phone, and you can create content.
And I would like to say, have an accountability partner. Have a friend. Have somebody who doesn't need to be somebody who a good friend. It could be somebody who is a motivated person in any field, and say, what, can you just keep me accountable? Like, can we meet once a week, and can you help me with that? And so people will. We have a thing in the office. #PeopleAreGood. You ask and people help.
Yes. Yes. One of the things I know, the pursuit of building a business or a business startup, or having a financial goal, while it's a lot of excitement and fun, it also can be pretty stressful for a lot of people, some more than others. And one of the mantras that you've been promoting is Khush, Raho, Bus.
Right.
Which could you tell our listeners, what does it mean, where did that idea come from, and what's behind it?
See, what happens is, I think it's called the lowest common denominator, and that's what everybody's. We all. It's like we have an antenna, which is always looking for 2 things. One is problems. Even if you forget, sometimes there's a tension in the morning, and then all of a sudden you met somebody, you forgot. We sit and think, what was that? What was that I was worried about? I want that back. So we're looking always, searching for that Wi-Fi connection which connects me to that problem. So that's human nature, one thing. And the other thing is that we are always looking at that common denominator that, for example, if I don't think I should be having so many coffees. And today if I see that you also had your 3rd coffee, I'll be like, oh, that's okay. Like everybody's doing it, so there's nothing wrong in it. So somewhere you find, oh, I'm fine. Like you give yourself permission to be okay for that time. And I'm just keeping it to coffee. I'm not saying drinking or smoking or whatever. Everybody's smoking, I should smoke. I'm just saying there are some habits that you find others are doing. It's okay, I'm also human. You can give yourself, cut yourself some slack and be okay with yourself. So for me, that lowest common denominator is that, oh, you know what, we lost that deal. We didn't get this, we didn't get this. But everybody's happy, right? So I'm winning. So go there and you find that, as long as that is happening, then you should say it's a good day. So that's the mission that we're on. We created 100 posters when I went to India last. and identified 100 of the, not the top companies in terms of revenue, but in terms of kind-hearted leaders, and we sent them one poster each and cards for their offices to keep. So I think that's for me, that's part of winning. Yes, you need money, you need everything. Human being needs everything. But as long as that's happening, I call it a good day and go to sleep and get back to work tomorrow.
Amazing, amazing. It's not very often that one hears, something like, even when you've not, for example, been successful in a deal, right? If there is happiness in your team or amongst people you're working with, like that in itself, is a win. Because I think the business world, a lot of the times, has this very black and white, very rigid ideas of success.
So there will be an accountability meeting on why we lost the deal on another day,
yes.
And it should
But
be
not today.
But not today, because the person, if you're already down and out, then what are you trying to beat up somebody who's for what? I mean, how is it going to help you or anybody else?
Yeah.
The idea is to because you don't do that to a family member. To when you're down, you're like, okay, fine. I know you made a mistake. We'll discuss it some other day. For your own good, we'll discuss it. So we'll discuss it some other day. Right now, just be happy. And we got posters everywhere. I've got some in some places. I get carried away. I've got my numbers there. I'm not feeling. If anybody in the company feels that you said everybody should be happy, but it's not happening, call me. Let's have a discussion, because I think that's very important.
Yeah.
People are dying inside with anxiety. When people these words are used so loosely, fear, anxiety, all that. But people are dying. They want to cry. And it's like it's like a ripe melon or something. You just put a little bit of and it's the juice comes out. It's like that. Sometimes you talk to people for 30 seconds and they start crying. 30 seconds. Because they're filled up till here. So why are they not being allowed to cry often? So that it doesn't fill up. Or express themselves thing. And then we're saying we're going to become a big, no venture can happen with people squeezed like that. And nobody, I don't mean any owner, any CEO, any founder, anybody is doing it to their teams. Everybody's doing it to themselves.
Right.
So it has to start somewhere. It can't, I don't think it should be that only the leaders, yes, the leaders have authority to make things happen, systems, processes, but it should be everywhere. If you're not finding it, please go to some other company. Do not be in a. I say that in every afternoon meeting, and my HR looks at me and like, what the hell are you doing? I say, please find a reason to love what you're doing here and the environment. And for whatever reason you should not be here.
You should leave.
Yeah, you should, exactly.
Yeah.
Because why should you drag your feet to go somewhere?
Yeah.
There are enough jobs. In the worst of economies, there are enough jobs. And for every founder, there are enough people who will work.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
find your own place where you feel happy.
Yeah. No, that's amazing. So I want to wrap up with this sort of very positive note that you've got here, which is at the end of the day, right? It's important for us to have empathy, to feel for the other person, to understand what they're going through, but more importantly, give ourselves permission, like you said, whether it's to cry or laugh, be human, right? And so I think the theme that keeps emerging in every conversation with you is not to lose touch with the human in you, right?
The thing is, this is my belief so far in life with my limited knowledge, is that only if because like I mentioned, being overweight and means I could not forget running, I couldn't walk. And I always loved people. So I would burst out into a story, but nobody wanted to hear the story because the first thing we like you stammer or whatever. So I'm just saying that today, because of going through that for so many years, when I say it today, I don't feel bad anymore. It's just now I'm just saying it. It was an old memory, but those times made me empathetic. I love those times. I know why it happened, because if I was the perfect man, I would not be half as sensitive as I am today. So whatever's happening is happening for a reason, and you have, like you said, self-love and everything. So it has to happen to you for you to see others. I don't know. I don't know how I can see it in others. Today I genuinely feel I have the gift to feel for others, even if they don't tell me what they're going through, because I've had to feel for myself for so many years, and everybody has some challenge or the other. For me, it was, the way I spoke, and for other people, it was whatever it is. But so it starts with yourself. You and just spend time with yourself, cut yourself, go for a vacation. If you go, vacation doesn't mean you have to fly out. Vacation could be, I'm taking some time off. Take care of yourself, and it's the best. Tony Robbins says the best investment is in yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think that's a very inspiring note to end on, just reminding people who are on an entrepreneurial journey, whether they've been on it for long or whether they're starting, to start with the self, take care of yourself, because then you can take care of others in a much better way.
Your room should be air conditioned. You should be wearing the most comfortable shoes. You should have, you should be going out with your friends once a week. You should be pampering yourself. Because you don't need to be working all the time to get the best ideas to work. You have to be out of that zone. That will happen when you're comfortable. You know what? I don't believe in that the entrepreneur, the boss is the last to eat. Readers eat last. But the company will die if the person who's thinking is deprived. It doesn't work like that. I think they should take care of yourself, get yourself paid on time. Or everybody else can get paid and my salary check should come at the end. No, you should get yourself, you should feel good, you'll make others feel good. So that is also a part of self-reflection, self-love and all of that. Take care. I believe hugely in comfortable shoes.
You do have a collection of comfortable shoes.
I do. I mean, I'm a sneakerhead. I love it because I believe that you feel, you want to feel good about something. You should have that. You should still have that child alive. This is my hobby. Can I show you my shoes? You should have that. And that whole thing will reflect in your environment. You come to my office in India, you'll feel. I have created my office in India. We've got video games. Those coins. We put in coins and everything.
Oh yes.
And again, my HR and operations head is like, you know what? People are always spending time. I say, I understand, but the thing is, I want my office to be a place. I created it for myself. We were 3 floors, but I created it for myself so that when I'm stressed, I feel like going to the office. And I don't feel like going. So then people will be in the office. This will be their playground. This is where they'll think, create and do work. So that's how I've created the office for people to say, get your dog. It's not an HR because I've never worked in a corporation. So I don't know how an HR policy, per se works. I just know that I should feel like going to office. And so you should feel like doing things. Otherwise don't do anything and wait for 6 months. You'll find something else that you feel like doing and then do that.
Yeah. I think, giving ourselves, like you said in a previous conversation we had, giving ourselves and others that permission slip, to be okay, right? And to accept
100%.
People and ourselves for who we are.
Shop. Even if it means going shopping for a $10 thing, t-shirt from Gap. That doesn't mean your shop means going to an expensive store. But shop. Take care of yourself. You're the founder.
Well, that's wonderful. We'll end on that note then.
Awesome.
Take care.
Thank you very much.
Here's to more shoes in your collection.
I know. I'm never going to be guilty anymore of buying more shoes. Hey guys, Avi here. Thank you very much for watching this episode. It's so much fun bringing all of this to you, but honestly, it is difficult editing, post-production, getting people together. But when you watch till the very end, it feels great. So thank you very much. Now, I'm going to give you something. An opportunity to connect with me and my ecosystem. I have an email called workwithaviarya@gmail.com. Now, what are the possibilities of working with me? Number 1, if you are somebody who's liking this content that I'm putting out and saying, you know what, Avi, I want to get into your coaching. I want to get into your ecosystem. I want to understand how this works. I have a school called the Internet Moguls Business School, where we have 2 programs for entrepreneurs. Send me an email at workwithaviarya, subject Internet Moguls Business School. And then tell me about your business, what are the challenges that are happening. And accordingly, one of our sales consultants will call you, they'll tell you about your business and finally they'll connect you with me. And we'll see if you're the right fit to work together. Number 2, if you want me to consult with you, just consulting one-on-one, understanding your business, giving you a 3-month, 5-month roadmap. So work with Avi Arya, subject consulting, and then give me all the details about your business. Next, if you want my agency to help you, you could be a product or a service, a coach, a trainer, whatever. You want us to help us set up your get known, get leads, get sales, and set up a proper system for you. Then same thing, work with Avi Arya. And in the subject, you will write agency help. And in the end, tell me exactly what you want me to do for you and what are the challenges that you face. And if you want to work with me in my team as a freelancer, as part-time, full-time, get into the team, work remotely from anywhere in the world. Again, work with Avi Arya and say, I want to join your team, and then tell me about yourself. Ideally, for all these things, when you put in a subject, follow it with a nice micro video so I know more about you. Because I check every email myself and I'd love to get back to you and connect you with the right people in the right company. So eventually when we talk, we have all these things figured out. Finally, if you want to interview me for your podcast or your YouTube channel,
email me at podcastwithaviarya@gmail.com. So there you go. Two ways to connect with us. Work with Avi Arya, and you've got the multiple options, and you've got podcast with Avi Arya, and we can podcast together. So thank you very much for watching the videos. Don't forget to watch all these videos. Send me an email. Would love to hear from you. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Avi Arya, signing off for now. Look forward to seeing you in the next video. There's a link over here which has got all my emails for you to get in touch with me as well. Click on the link and get in there. See you. Look forward to hearing that email from you. Bye for now.